Hello, I'm Hansi Parchment. You're watching Talawa TV with Crystal Davis.
Golden Ricketts, how are you?
I'm doing great, thanks. How are you?
I am well. You've made my night. Before we get started, please go ahead and big up the greatest parish in Jamaica.
You're putting me on the spot. So I'm gonna big up St. Thomas because I was born there, and I'm also gonna big up St. Andrew because I grew up there.
I love that. I'll take that. 14.94 games record. You weren't playing about tonight, were you?
No, I definitely knew that the girls were coming out here to fight, so I had to bring my A game and war them.
What got you going? Was it the cold or was it something else?
It's the cold. I like competing in the cold for some strange reason, but then after the first jump, I feel like it got even colder, and then the breeze started changing. So, yeah, I don't know.
What's next for you in terms of achievement? Because this is your greatest career medal, isn't it?
Yes. Apart from the World Championships, yes, this is my first gold. So what's next? I have the Monaco Diamond League next week, and I'm also going to be participating at the Knockout Championships in Bahamas.
Amazing stuff. And how does it feel to inspire the little kids in St. Thomas? Because I'm pretty sure there's a lot of them with their eyes gripped to the screen saying, I want to be like Golden Ricketts.
Yes, definitely. I hope to be an inspiration to them. I hope they see themselves in me. If them foot long, them can try the triple jump. You know, if them slim, them can try the triple jump or even high jump.
What if them have short foot?
If them have short foot, then can try to cause some foot short too.
Amazing. Best of luck for the rest of the season.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right.
It's surreal.
My Tala. Technical error. Sorry about that, guys. Let's try that again once more. My Talawers, how are you all? Good afternoon, good evening, possibly good morning, all depends on where you're based in the world. Midweek, guys. Well, I'm into my Thursday. It's about 1:45 a.m. here in London, but I'm pretty sure we've all gotten through or getting through midweek, right? Going through that Wednesday, one step closer to our weekend. Let me know how you're doing there in the comment section. Massive shout out to you guys who are tuning in. Special shout out to Mr. Scott. And in case you're wondering what tonight's show is all about, the headline reads for itself, doesn't it? If you don't want to read it, I'll go ahead and read it for you. Lorne Donaldson named his squad for South Korea. Now, when I say Lorne Donaldson, I'm referring to the head coach. I presume, judging by this smile right here on screen, full show of the full 32 there from Mr. Lorne Donaldson, presuming that he is now the full-time head coach of the senior women's national football team of Jamaica, the Reggae Girlz. That is, you don't have a smile like that when you're the interim. You don't smile like that when you're there on a part-time basis. Let me know if you guys can hear me loud and clear in the comment section. If you can't hear me, I'll go ahead and do some tweaks my end. But like I said, can pretty much confirm by if this photo is anything to go by, that Lorne Donaldson will be the man in charge for the foreseeable future. And as it relates to the future, next in line for Lorne Donaldson, after taking the senior women's national football team of Jamaica over the final hurdle, thus qualifying for their second successive Women's World Cup on the bounce. Next in line is a friendly, which will be televised for some of us, hopefully the majority of us, me included, and that friendly is against South Korea in September. And then they also have a behind closed door fixture again against South Korea. So in case you guys have missed the press release, I'm going to do the usual and I'm going to bring you guys up to speed. You can hear me? Brilliant. I don't know what's going on with my microphone. Perhaps I need to shout in it a little bit, but the numbers are looking fine on my audio deck, so I trust that you guys can definitely hear me loud and clear. If you're having any issues, give me a shout and I will make the necessary adjustments. Good day to yourself. Good evening, Mr. Scott and Mr. Clark. How's your week been so far, gents? How's your week looking? I hope it's a good one. If you're just tuning in, the headline reads for itself. It says, Lorne Donaldson named his squad for the South Korea friendly. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to bring us all up to speed before I get into naming the 23 player squad for the pending friendlies. I'm going to backtrack just a little bit just to bring us all on the same page. Then we're going to talk about the friendly, talk about a couple of the players, couple of recalls, familiar faces, long time faces that haven't been in the squad for some time. And then we're going to talk about a couple additions named in the 23 player squad. So sit tight, got a couple of reading to do. You guys can go ahead and read along with me. If you don't want to read, I'll do the reading. I take one for the team. So let's start this off by taking things from the top. I have no idea what's going on tonight. Couple technical glitches here and there, but hopefully it won't be nothing too severe. All right, so let's go over to my shared screen. And let's just start off from the press release. I think this one was released to us perhaps over a week ago now. I've already done a couple videos on the press release from the Jamaica Football Federation as it relates to the Reggae Girlz taking on South Korea. So if you want to backtrack, you can go through the video selection and put your feet up and enjoy. If not, let me try and bring you guys up to speed. And the press release, the then press release, read as follows. Jamaica senior women's national team, the Reggae Girlz, will play South Korea in an international friendly game in South Korea on September 3rd, 2022. The match will take place in the Hasong Sports Complex. The two countries will also play a close training match on September the 6th at Paju National Football Training Center. Korea is ranked 18th in the world, while Jamaica is ranked 42. This will be the first ever encounter between the two teams, with the match scheduled in FIFA International Football Association Women's Match Calendar. All players are eligible to be called. Another important date there for you guys to etch in the back of your mind is the draw for next year's Women's World Cup taking place in Australia and New Zealand, and that draw is scheduled for Saturday, the 22nd of October, 2022. So not long to go until we find out who will be facing down under. Excited for that one. As ever, I'll be giving you guys the updates as it comes, as it relates to our opponents. Okay, now let's bring forward a little bit and look at today's press release as it relates to the 23 player squad announcement for the South Korea game. And it read as follows. Coach Lorne Donaldson, and interesting that it doesn't say interim coach. So again, I'm assuming that he's now the official head coach for our senior women's national team. Not always good to assume, but judging by that smile there, if you guys have not seen that smile on the gaffer's face standing next to Mr. Ricketts, the president of the JFF, let me know in the comment section. I'll be more than happy to bring that up on screen for you. Don't think you're going to see a wider smile than that from Lorne Donaldson. I didn't think he smiled that hard when we qualified for the Women's World Cup some weeks back. But anyways, the press release which came out today, the latest press release which came out today, read as follows. Coach Lorne Donaldson and his coaching staff have selected the 23 player squad to represent Jamaica in an international friendly against South Korea on September the 3rd at Hasong Sports Complex in South Korea. The game is scheduled to begin at 3 a.m. and they've got Jamaica time as 5 p.m. local. The Reggae Girlz will also engage the same opponents in a practice match on September 6th. So 2 dates there for you guys to remember with these matches against South Korea. September 3rd and also September 6th. The call-up reflects a strong unity with the majority being members of the World Cup qualifying squad. A few of the more popular names are missing from the list through injury. As part of his stated policy, the coach will be using the opportunity of this and other windows this year to look at other players who were not involved in the recent World Cup qualifiers. 4 players of those named are yet to debut for the senior team. The possible debutants are Cameron Simmons, Leah Brooks, Siobhan Wilson, and Malia Atkinson. The squad and the technical staff are scheduled to assemble in Hasong on August 30th. August 30th, we're going to get into the squad and the technical team arriving or assembling in Hasong on August 30th. So we're going to get into that before the show close off. But let me know how you guys are in the comment section. I'm going to swing back over to you guys to see what you guys are saying there in the comments. Awfully quiet tonight. Why is that? 15 of you watching, on the 2 of you in a talking mood. Seems like some of you are a little bit down in the dumps. Why is that? Let me know in the comment section. You shouldn't be. We've got 2 friendlies to look forward to. And you guys should by now know the names of the 23 players. If you don't know the names, don't worry yourself. I'm going to read it out to you. It is going on good so far. Have life, so you can't complain, can you? I'm good. I'm in good spirit. I'm in good spirit lately. Don't ask me why. Like I said on my last live stream, the situation that I'm in at the moment, I shouldn't even be smiling right now, but I'm feeling good. You guys are in a bit of a mean mood. 15 of you watching, only 8 of you have hit the like button. Please do go ahead and hit that like button for me. Try to play fair. Let's try to have a bit of a tiki-taka football going on in the comment section. And for those of you who are silently watching, please do go ahead and hit that like button for me. Thank you in advance. Today has been a blessing. That's what I like to hear. Every day is a blessing. If you wake up, that's an absolute blessing. Underrated blessing, if we're keeping it real, for being honest. Just giving thanks for another day. I pray you are doing well yourself. I am doing well, Mr. Clark. I pray that you continue to do well. I pray that you continue to have more blessed days, a bit like Mr. Scott and the rest of the guys who are silently watching in the live stream. Don't ask me why I don't bite. You can go ahead and drop a comment in the comment section. I promise I will be nice and I will respond to you. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and read out the squad announcement. I trust that you guys have already seen the squad announcement, but just in case, it won't hurt to go ahead and read out that squad announcement. If you want to call in at any point, please do cast your eyes at the end of the screen and do get dialing with the +44. Save this number as it is on the screen, by the way, guys. So the +44 at the bottom of your screen, followed by the remaining digits, and give me a call on WhatsApp if you're outside of the UK. Please don't try to do a straight call because I won't pick up. Reason being, it will charge you extra. So do go ahead and call me via WhatsApp. That will save you a couple extra pence or pennies, depending on where you're based in the world. I don't know. All right, so let's go ahead. Let me see what you guys are saying. Big up. What do you think of the squad? We're going to get into the squad. It's expected early doors, first friendly post successfully qualifying for the Women's World Cup. I like to say that bit with my chest. 2 successive World Cup on the bounce as it relates to our women's senior team, to avoid any confusion. How you, Alan Card? How you doing? How's your day? How's your week been? Pick up yourself, Mr. Smith. I haven't seen you around here in a while. Where you been? Where you been hiding? I hope you're in good health. You haven't really missed much. Neither yourself or Island Carts missed much. If you've been keeping an eye on my channel, you would have already come across the press release from the Jamaica Football Federation about a week ago, talking about the all-important friendly against South Korea taking place on the 3rd of September. 3 days later, we'll be playing a behind closed door fixture against South Korea. So that's 2 games to look forward to. Etch these dates in the back of your mind or down on your notepad, whatever works best for you. The 3rd of September and the 6th of September, we'll be playing against South Korea. Hopefully we'll be in good luck and we'll be able to watch both games, right? So we're going to need to come together. We're going to have to assemble our own little team to see what stream works, what stream isn't working, and so on. Sorry, my microphone's currently on orange, which isn't usually a good sign. So if it cuts off at any point, let me know and I'll tweak what needs to be tweaked. All right, so let's go ahead and bring up the all important fixtures. Right, let me just remove your comment there, Mr. Smith. Remove my banner as well so that we could all have a look at these. All right. If you guys can't hear me in the comment section, let me know and I'll make a little adjustment. But you should be able to hear me. And this one pretty much reads for itself, doesn't it? If you don't want to read it, I'll go ahead and read it. Before I get into the reading, let me go back over to, let me change this quickly. Bear with me, guys. Let me know if you guys can hear me in the comment section with the graphic on screen. Because if you can't hear me, then it's a little bit pointless. So before I bring the graphic back up on screen with the 23-player squad announcement for our fixture, our friendly against South Korea. If you guys didn't hear me whilst the graphic was on screen, let me know and I'll go with an alternative method. So I'm going to sit quietly for a bit and then you guys can just let me know if you heard me. If you didn't hear me, then clearly I'll need to come up with a different method. 15-year-old daughter. Oh, wow. Okay, I'm going to have to be on my best behavior. I'm usually on a good behavior, but now that we have young people in the room, I'll try my best to watch my mouth. Like I said, I usually do. I usually do because you never know who's listening. Good day, young lady and young man. Hope you're all in good health. You can hear me. Mr. Morris looks like he's speaking for all of you. So, Mr. Smith, Island Card, Mr. Scott, can you guys hear me with the graphic on screen? Let's try that again. Mr. Webster, good day, sir. How are you? Let's try that again one more time, guys. Let me know if you can hear me with the graphics on the screen. If you can't hear me with the graphic on the screen, then let me know. But if it's working for you guys, I just need one of you to tell me yes. I'm going to hold fire because I don't really want to be reading out the squad announcement and no one can't hear me. That's going to be a little bit pointless, isn't it? So let me know if you guys can hear me and then I will proceed. So Rob Smith says, looks like he's speaking for all of us. So I'm going to trust his opinion. He says that yes. That's two beautiful names there that you've got. I wonder why we chose those names. Sounds very rich in tradition and more so culture. Two beautiful names. All right, let's get into the announcement there. Let's bring up the squad announcement. Gonna start off as you usually do. We're gonna start off between the sticks. Can't really read out the squad announcement from front to back. So let's do things the right and proper way. Got myself in a little bit of a tongue twister. So the squad announcement for our pending friendly against South Korea read as follows. As you can see there, it says squad list. So we're going to start off in the goalkeeper position and work our way down to the forward. You'll notice that there is no Rebecca Spencer, but don't be in fear. We have Sydney Schneider, Yasmin Jameson, and Leah Brooks. Three solid goalkeepers. I think the goalkeeper position is we're quite fortunate. We spoke about the goalkeeper position on my last live stream. Also touched on the fact that I do feel a little bit sorry for a few of the newcomers to the Reggae Girlz Reggae Girlz supporters group, because some of you, if you're just coming on the Reggae Girlz train there for this upcoming World Cup, you wouldn't have seen Sydney Schneider. Definitely have not seen the best of Sydney Schneider. So you should be able to see Sydney in action. Not really sure who's going to be in the number one selected position there, whilst Rebecca Spencer is away. Possibly will be Sydney Schneider, could very well be Yasmin Jameson. Yasmin is looking steady over in Canada with the Simcoe County Rovers. Leah Brooks, another steady young goalkeeper on our books. Intelligent for her age, and I don't mean that to be belittling, but to be so young and to be so wise between the sticks, it is positive signs. All right, let's move down to our defenders. We have the Swaby sisters. We have Chantel Swaby, Alison Swaby, Vian Sampson, Den Blackwood, Siobhan Wilson, Malia Atkins. Midfield, we have Chinelu Asher, Marlo Sweatman, Big Drew, that's Drew Spence, Shania Hales, Giselle Washington, Tierney Wiltshire, Sade Adamulakan, Tiffany Cameron. And to complete the set in the forward positions, we have Khadija Shaw, Kayla McCoy, Mariah Gray, Atlanta Primus, Trudy Carter, and Cameron Simmons. We're gonna go through this list in a bit there, guys. So don't worry, you're gonna look at a couple stuff. We're also going to go back and look at that date there as it relates to the 30th of August, which it says in today's press release. It does say that the squad and technical staff are scheduled to assemble in Hasong on August 30th. So what day is it today? Today's it's only the 25th of August. Okay, alrighty. 25th of August for me because I'm already on my Thursday. I'm already into Thursday. Okay, some days to go. All right, so we're gonna look at a few things tonight. We're gonna look at the squad. We're also going to be looking at that date. And who knows, you might hear me sulk here and then. I can't help it. I tried not to, but there's a few things there that not necessarily 100% happy with. So hopefully, I'll give you guys my opinion, and hopefully you guys can give me your opinion as well. That's how it usually works, right? All right, let's see what you guys are saying in the comment section. I'm not going to get mad on the coach on this squad because I know what he is looking at new players to see how they could perform on a global stage. If this was the World Cup squad, you're a while away from the World Cup, aren't you, Mr. Scott? We haven't even gotten past Christmas or the New Year yet, so you're way thinking too far ahead. We need to park up the World Cup roster for now and just focus on the present. Anything can happen. God forbid. Don't want to say what I want to say, so I'm just going to leave it at that. Anything can happen between now and the announcement of our second ever World Cup squad. Sounds good, doesn't it? Second ever World Cup squad. All right. As it relates to our women's team, senior women's team. Good night, Mr. Wilkinson. How are you? How's your week been? You've got me bugging out. Well, let me just put on my slides quickly, just in case. Because when the Webster's around, funny things tend to happen. So let's just get on my skates quickly. It's always good to be proactive with certain things. My girl Marlo Sweatman is back. Yes, she is back. No Brown or Kiki. Okay, so we're gonna get into good evening, Mr. Hot Chili Pepper. How are you, sir? How you doing? How's your Wednesday treating you? Looking forward to Tiff. This going to be the World Cup backline, world class. Big up yourself, okay? How you feeling, okay? How you doing? How's things in your neck of the woods? If you're just tuning in and you missed the announcement there of the Reggae Girlz squad for our friendly against Korea, give me a little gentle nudge in the comment section and I will be more than willing to give that a reread for you. So what we're going to do is we're going to first and foremost, I need to bring up my notes and I just need to place it in front of me so I know what to talk about. And you should know by now, if you were listening to the squad announcement, that there's some notable absentees there. Already spoke about Rebecca Spencer, I think I only touched on Rebecca Spencer. So there's a couple more other players there as it relates to the prior World Cup qualifier squad. So a couple of the players that we saw over that time period. So you would have noticed the omission there, and it's a number of reasons. Yes, it does say in the press release that some players are out due to injury. I did already touch on Paige Bailey-Gale. We know that Paige Bailey-Gale now belongs to Crystal Palace. I tell you what, every time Warren shows up, there's a spider. Got it this time. Warren, you are bad vibes. Got it that time, but I'm not too pleased because it's only a small one. it was the bigger one, I would have been much happier. Anyways, it's good to catch them when they're young, innit? Rather than when they're big and they become a menace. Sorry about that, guys. What was I saying? I lost train of thought. Paige Bailey Girl, yes, now belongs to Crystal Palace, and we know that they kickstarted their season with a victory over her countryman, her compatriot Atlanta Primus. Little London derby, little Reggae Girlz derby, Paige on the sidelines there. So we already knew what to expect with Paige Bailey Girl, so we shouldn't be surprised by that. Also, you would have noticed that Jodie Brown is going back into action with her university, as is Kiki Van Zanten. Jodie, based off what we saw from Jodie in the latter stages of the World Cup qualifiers, we know she needs rest. It's not rocket science. She is young and we need to protect her. So the omission of Jodie Brown makes perfect sense to me. She needs to go off and just have a little bit of a rest, come and go again. So yeah, we need to protect the young, and that's what I asked Miss. That's one of the questions that I posed to Mr. Donaldson, the gaffer, the head coach there for the Reggae Girlz, when I asked him about protecting the young players like Kiki. Kiki scored the all-important game in our last match there to christen us with the bronze medal in the CONCACAF Women's Championship. Did ask the gaffer how important is it to protect the likes of Kiki Van Zanten. So I'm not mad at not seeing Van Zanten and Brown, the young players there in the squad. They do need some rest. And they also need to focus on their studies because they are university students. School comes first, book comes first. So that, for me, that makes sense. You'll also notice the omission there of Satara Murray, Jade Bailey, Alika Keane as well. So what have I named so far? So far I've named Rebecca Spencer, Havana Stallone, Paige Bailey Girl, Jodie Brown, Satara Murray, Jade Bailey, Alika Keane, and Kiki Van Zanten. And you would have noticed the welcome return of Tiffany Cameron, Marlo Sweatman, Giselle Washington, somewhat reintroduction of Siobhan Wilson and Shania Hales as well. Let's take a quick little break. Let me see what you guys are saying there in the comment section. Good day, Mr. Smith. We've got two Mr. Smith. Are you guys related by any chance? Robert Smith and Conrad Smith. Are you related? Feeling blessed, coming off work, relaxing with some positive Reggae Girlz. That's the spirit. That's what I like to hear. A working man coming home, made it home safe from work. I told you I was going to get it. It's taking liberties out of me. That's the same spider that was here on my live. They've got a nasty habit of showing up when I'm doing my live stream. I could be chilling and I'm on the lookout and they don't show up. But as soon as I go live, they have the audacity to try and frighten me. It's a little baby one, so I was able to catch it before it ran off. They're quick. These new spiders they've got some pace on them. But I managed to get rid of it. So Warren's gonna be a little bit disheartened by that, but so be it. I told you next time you show up, I will deal with your case, and I did. I was at the back post. I got in at the back post. Didn't go for nothing spectacular. It wasn't no bicycle kick. Nice and easy. Just did what I needed to do from the back post, guys. This coach is smart, but he must start the best players in the real friendly match. I know I'm proud of my rotten. Listen, the ownership, I love that. Sometimes we gotta take onus. I love that, Mr. Mr. Webster. Tiffany is back. I think everyone's happy to see Tiffany back, aren't we? Remind me to take a please do. I'm gonna message you. You won't even need to tell me to remind you. Please do. And when you see him, you know exactly what to do with Mr. Wilkinson. Let me know if you guys want me to go through that squad announcement again from the top, and I will do exactly that. Last time he got a clean sheet. Embarrassed me on home turf. On home turf. Came to my backyard and absolutely embarrassed me. Shameful stuff. So what we're gonna do, guys, we're gonna go through that today's press release once more, right? Because there's something in it that I picked up on, and I just want us to have a little conversation right? Go ahead and hit the like button, guys. It doesn't cost you a penny. And if you do end up being charged, don't worry. My lovely friend, Mr. Warren Webster, bathing in wealth over in Canada, he'll take care of the invoice. Okay. So if somehow you manage to get a charge, a fee of any amount, let me know. Add any amount of zeros that you want to add on the invoice, and Mr. Warren Webster will take care of it. All right? He's wealthy. Don't worry yourself. Okay, so what we're gonna do is let me go back over to today's press release really, and we quickly, and we can just dissect a few things. All right, let's go back over. Mr. Tuffy, how you? I'll be with you in a second. Let's go ahead and reread today's press release. And it's at the bottom. Top half is the press release, which was somewhat outdated now. It came through to us about a week ago. So I'm gonna reread today's press release for you, and it reads as follows. Lorne Donaldson and his coaching staff have selected the 23-player squad to represent Jamaica in an international friendly against South Korea on September the 3rd at the Hasong Sports Complex in South Korea. The game is scheduled to begin at 3 a.m. Jamaica time, 5 p.m. local. The girls will also engage the same opposition in a practice match on September 6th. The call-ups reflects a strong unit, with the majority being members of the World Cup qualifying squad, and a few of the more popular names are missing from the list through injury. As part of his stated policy, the coach will be using the opportunity of this and other windows this year to look at other players who are not involved in the recent World Cup qualifiers. Four players of those named are yet to debut for the senior team. The possible debutants are Cameron Simmons, Leah Brooks, Siobhan Wilson, and Malia Atkins. The squad and the technical staff are scheduled to assemble in Hasong on August 30th. Okay, so the only thing about that for me is the last part, August 30th. I am in good spirit. How are you? How's your week been? Mr. Wilk. Is Mr. Donaldson? I mean, we've been through this, haven't we? Hot chili. Like I said to you, I'm not Mr. Donaldson, but you're not getting me to show my full 32 if you're offering me a part-time contract. That's for certain. I'm only giving you the full 100 if I'm the full-time gaffer. If we want to read pictures, pictures can read 1,000 different stories, but judging by this lovely photo here, I should think that he is the permanent head coach for the time being, at least. So I should think that he'll be the one that takes charge of the girls, most certainly for South Korea and for the future as well. If that picture is anything to go by, that is, I'll be surprised if I'm wrong with that. Um, the right thing the coach do call up the best defenders that we have at the moment. Yeah, the backline definitely needs some practice. Backline needs to be tweaked and worked on. Fun and joke aside, looking forward to these set of aim. I second that, Mr. Webster. Fresh God himself. How are you, bro? How you doing? You know, when the gent enters the room, he says all the right words. I'm getting a lot of tongue twisters tonight, guys. Right words. Don't feel right. Right words. Let's get that correct. Go ahead and do what it says on the screen, guys. Please do go ahead and hit that like button. You wouldn't enter someone's house without saying good day, good evening, or good morning, would you? So why would you enter the live stream without hitting the like button? I know you guys have good manners, so please go ahead and utilize it. Go ahead and touch that like button, as Fresh has said, as he has stated. All right. So let me bring out my notes again, because sometimes I forget to tell you guys things and then I sign off on the live stream and then I'm like, dang, I was supposed to say something and I didn't. So August the 30th. Remember, guys, first game is scheduled for September the 3rd. That's when we'll be playing against South Korea, for those of you who are wondering. Now, here's where I've got a little bit of a moan. I'm sorry to be the one to complain. First of all, thank you guys for whoever facilitated the planning and the getting this friendly through the pipeline, executing it and all of that. Whilst one can argue and say that's your job, yes, it is your job. We can also credit you for getting your job done, because sometimes you don't do your job but you still get paid. I don't really know how that one works. So thank you for putting a friendly in the pipeline and for announcing the friendly. Now all we need to do is show up and play the friendly. Hopefully you can do more of the same with every single FIFA window that comes our way. So yes, my only slight bit of complaint is that there where it read at the end of the press release that the squad and the technical staff are scheduled to assemble in Hasong on August 30th. I kind of want to say again, slight bit of moan, just going forward with the next string of friendlies, that as it relates to the itinerary, planning as such must reflect professional planning. So if we're going to be in a position where we're playing a game, I did say this on my last live stream that I personally would have liked for the girls to arrive in camp like 7 days prior to match day one. For me, that just makes logical sense in terms of avoiding the, not even avoiding, because you're going to be jet lag. If you're coming from the UK and you're going to South Korea, you're going to be jet lag. So to overcome the jet lag, you need to arrive in South Korea well ahead of time, well ahead of match day one. So yes, itinerary for me must reflect professional planning. At the moment, whilst I am delighted with the friendly, the fact that we're arriving on the 30th of August or assembling in Hasong, Korea on the 30th of August, and the match is on the 3rd of August, sorry, the 3rd of September, poses a few question marks. And the question marks to me is that then potentially limits the number of full training session. So if you're arriving assembling in Hosong on the 30th of August, your match is played on the 3rd of September, which will be on a Saturday. I'm assuming that the 31st of August is where you would rest, the players would rest, because like I said, you are bound to be jet lag. You must be jet lag. So if that's anything to go by, the 1st of September is probably where you do your full on training. Um, and then maybe the 2nd of September is where you do a bit of light training. So again, you're not really fully prepared for your friendly. To an extent, you can argue that, at least in my opinion. Anyways, so um and also, if you look at the squad, if you paid attention to my first Reggae Girlz weekend of action review, you would have noticed that we still have, whilst we have players who are in seasons, so players across the pond, in the WSL, Canada, elsewhere in Europe, outside of the UK. You do have some players who have already started their season outside of the UK. So, for example, Hungary, the Czech Republic. If you look across the United States, you have some players who are already playing. But also, if you look at the UK as it relates to the 2022-2023 campaign, and also in France, the top league in England, so the WSL, that's yet to kickstart. In France, there's a few leagues there that's yet to kickstart. So you could have potentially, because we know that there is money there on the table now, and the owner, let's not kid us. I haven't even gotten into the Adidas conversation, but let's not kid ourselves. If it wasn't for the Reggae Girlz, Adidas wouldn't even blink at us. They wouldn't even blink at us. We'll be stuck. If it's not Umbra, we'll be wearing something with lesser respect. So let's just make that crystal clear. So there's money there on the table, and the money should be spent sensibly, wisely. and fairly as well, fairly distributed. So you would have thought that because you have players from the WSL and you have players in countries like France, you also have players in the WSL in the United States who play for us, but they're on the bench for their respective clubs. So that being said, you could have potentially um, brought them together for a smaller camp, right? So that they could fine tune themselves and get themselves ready for the larger camp of the rest of their teammates. So we haven't done this on this time round. Hopefully next time round we will arrive in a better time frame. And if we don't arrive ahead of time, and that's outside of what we're prohibited to do in terms of what we can and can't do. Yes, if all the players are playing for their respective clubs and it's outside of a FIFA window, obviously we can't pull them away from their clubs because their club's just not going to action that order. But if it's like the present where players are available because they haven't started their league campaign, or if they're sat on the bench at their respective clubs, if you're not putting them in a smaller camp, then you kind of have to wonder at some point, to what extent are you willing to prepare and improve yourself for the 2022 2023, sorry, the 2023 Women's World Cup. And when I say prepare and improve, I'm talking about wholeheartedly, I'm talking about sincere preparation. Because the room was there, the opportunity was there to have a smaller camp with those players from those leagues that I've mentioned. So the WSL, few of the leagues there in France, and also in the WSL where players are sat on the bench, put them in a training camp. We saw how rusty a couple of our players look in the last window, the last World Cup qualifying window. Put them in a training camp. There's money there. The money should be fairly distributed for the women's team. I would even argue and say the bulk of the money should be on the table for the women's team because they're preparing for a World Cup. They're not here to dilly-dally and, draw pictures and dance off into the rainbow. They're there to handle business. That is one of sports biggest, for me, the biggest sporting competition in the world is the World Cup. It don't get no better than the World Cup. All eyes are on you. So yeah, I kind of wish that we did have a smaller camp for those girls who were literally sat on their bench doing absolutely nothing at their respective clubs, and those girls who haven't even kickstarted their season again with their respective clubs. The opportunity was there to make something of it and we didn't, and that's why I'm a little bit annoyed. Might not be nothing major to some of you, but I kind of think like this is how this is what sharp and professional thinking should look like. This is what you should be aiming for when you're talking about preparing to succeed, and not sitting back and scratching your head and hoping that everything fall into place. Being proactive and so on. And also with the whole thing about the squad assembling in Hasong on the 30th of August. Almost lost train of thought. It still doesn't really sit well with me because again, you arrive in the 30th of August. You're then playing on the 3rd. So for me, again, because you had the opportunity to put certain players in a smaller training camp with your gaffer there, you're kind of, whether it's intentionally or unintentionally, you're defeating the purpose of a friendly. Because a friendly, like the manager says, it should give him the opportunity to look at XYZ as it relates to how players are doing in particular positions and so on. But you're kind of limiting your coach's opportunity to fully and fairly assess his squad to see the player capabilities and abilities, who should get a run out, who needs to be recalled, and so on. There's only so much you can do in such a short period of time. Remember, being assembling in Hasong on the 30th of August, then you're playing on the 3rd. Where is the leg room there for Mr. Donaldson to fairly assess his squad? Yes, one can argue and say that some of the players are still playing for their respective clubs, but like I've said, there are some players who are sitting on the bench for their respective clubs, and there's also some players who haven't even started the 2022-2023 league campaign with their respective clubs. So there's opportunities there. So let's not make excuses. Let's just look at things for what they are, of how they are. Also, the 30th, again, going back to the 30th, yeah, there isn't really much leg room for unplanned issues, is there? If we're being realistic, hopefully, by the grace of God, there won't be no issues that arise. But there's no real leg room for unplanned issues. So, for example, delayed flight, even something as crazy as an airstrike or your visa issues. We know that we're quite accustomed to visa issues. We visa issues, and our guys in charge there at the top. That's like their bread and butter. There always seem to be some passport documentation issues, always some visa issues. We don't really have the leg room for any hiccups as it relates to your, I say a strike. I'm talking about like flight attendants striking and so on. Don't really have the leg room for that because it is a tight window. It is a tight time frame. 30th of August, 3rd of September is when you'll be playing. So that's the only real thing that I'm not exactly over the moon about. Sorry to complain, sorry to moan. It was on my mind, so I figured I might as well just share it with you guys, share my thought with you guys. And that's probably the only thing that I wanted to highlight where I'm not too pleased, if I'm being honest. Only scored the bringing it. Yeah, I mean, Alika Keane, I was expecting something. I was expecting Alika Keane to get a call up. But maybe Lorne Donaldson have different ideas. Yeah, so I'm saying, Hot Chili, I don't know why the coach won't get Alika Keane in the team. I want you to. You want Mr. Lorne Donaldson to put me in my place? Is that what you want? I don't know if I can pressure the gaffer. I don't think he's gonna take no pressure from me. That's for sure. Do you know if the girls have conditioning? They should. They should. They're going to need it. They should. They should. Talking about a professional setup. What did you miss? When did you tune in? Good evening to yourself, Tia. How are you? I've pretty much just read out the squad announcement there for the South Korea game. More than happy to read it out for you. I've also touched on the press release from the Jamaica Football Federation to go with the squad announcement as well. Again, more than happy to read it out for you. So if you need me to, then go ahead and let me know in the comment section. But other than that, things aren't looking too bad. Things aren't looking too bad for us. We've got a friendly, which is what we've all been screaming out for. Gonna see a couple familiar faces, couple reintroductions, and a few new faces to the senior team as well. So we're looking good, guys. Managed to cover that all in under an hour, sir. That's good, sir. Let me know if you guys have any questions. I'll probably roll this one out to 1 hour, and then I will close off on the live stream. Mr. Senate, how you? How you doing? Good day. So if you guys are just tuning in and you want me to reread that press release there for you, then let me know and I will go ahead and do exactly that. Save you some time, save you having to go on rewatch the whole live stream. Let's just remind you guys, seems like I'm being repetitive. I am being repetitive actually, but let me go ahead and remind you that the top flight of women's football in England kickstart on the 11th of September, and we will be having. Let me just click on the league properly. We'll be seeing Rebecca Spencer and Drew Spence's Tottenham taking on Manchester United. Sorry, the league actually kickstart on the 10th. My apologies. That's the 10th where Rebecca Spencer and Drew Spence's Tottenham taking on Manchester United. And on the 11th, we will be seeing Bunny Manchester City taking on Arsenal. The WSL, so that's the league that sits beneath the top tier of women's football in England. They already kickstarted their league campaign over the weekend. So last weekend, we have a couple Reggae Girlz in the Barclays Women's Championship. So you might want to keep an eye on both of those leagues. Also in France, FC Flohi 91. That is a new home belonging to Chantal Swaby. They kickstart their league campaign on the 10th of September. So just like the WSL, so you got a couple games there to look forward to. And I've already touched on how things are looking across Europe. So in Hungary, in Czech Republic, in Lithuania, and in Sweden as well. So you guys should be up to speed with a couple of those leagues. Manu is large and in charge. In charge of what? What exactly are you guys in charge of? In charge of sending your fans them down a downward spiral, perhaps. But what else is Manchester United in charge of, Mr. Senate? Okay, so here's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna reread that squad announcement for you guys, the ones who are just tuning in, just so you guys are all on the same page. All right, let's go ahead and remove my banner. This one should read quite clearly to you guys. Clearly, it says the squad list, and this is the squad list for our pending game against South Korea. We have 2 matches, a friendly and a behind closed doors training match, a closed training match. Again against South Korea. So the friendly is on the 3rd of September, and the close training match is on the 6th of September. So 2 dates for you guys to remember. Go ahead and read out that squad announcement for you guys. It says in the goalkeeper position between the sticks, we have Sydney Schneider, Yasmin Jameson, Leah Brooks. In defense, we have Chantal Swaby, Alison Swaby, Vian Sampson, Denden Blackwood, Siobhan Wilson, Malia Atkins. In midfield, we have Chinelu Asher, Marlo Sweatman, Drew Spence, Shania Hales, Giselle Washington, Tierney Wiltshire, Shade Adamulakun, Tiffany Cameron. And to complete the set in the forward line, we have Khadija Shaw, Kayla McCoy, Mariah Gray, Atlanta Primus, Trudy Carter, and Cameron Simmons. So you guys should already have figured this one out if you're just tuning into the live stream. That is that from our World Cup qualifiers, so over that duration of the World Cup qualifiers, so qualifying for the championship and then subsequently using the CONCACAF Women's Championship to qualify for a second successive Women's World Cup on the bounce. You would have noticed that there is no Rebecca Spencer, Havana Solone, Paige Bailey Gale, Jodie Brown, Satara Murray, Jade Bailey, Alika Keed, or Kiki Van Zanten, and they're away out of this squad for a number of reasons. In the press release there, today's press release, they did touch on injuries being the reason why some players are missing from the list. And we already knew that. I did give you guys a little brief insight into Paige Bailey Girl, for example. So definitely shouldn't be surprised with Paige Bailey Girl at least. And also, we've somewhat got a reintroduction of Siobhan Wilson and Shania Hales as well. And you guys will be seeing the welcome return of Tiffany Cameron, Marlo Spetman, and Giselle Washington. So if you're not happy, you should be happy having heard that lovely bit of news. I'm gonna allow you to answer that one, Mr. Senate. Let's look at Senate. Let's look at this for a second. Let's look at a picture of Mr. Lorne Donaldson in case you haven't seen it. I think you can pretty much answer this one for yourself, right? Does this look like a man who is employed on a part-time basis, or is that the smile of a man who is fully employed, bossed up and in charge? Pictures speak 1,000 different stories, but I'll allow you to draw your own assumption with that. I'm going to put my last penny on the table, last pound on the table. Throw my last pound into the hat. And I'm going to say that that's a full-time, fully employed head coach. You are more than welcome, Mr. Webster. Rebecca Spencer? No, she isn't on the list. She is not on the list, my friend. But you can go ahead and take another look at the list. I'm gonna go ahead and remove the comments quickly. So there's the list. There's what the list looks like. That is what our list is looking like. We don't usually have a problem with forwards, do we? Definitely don't have a problem with forwards. Backline's going to take some getting used to when we're looking at the reintroduction there, and also players players being inactive at club level for their respective clubs. So backline's going to need some extra attention, extra focus. It's always been an area for me that we need to work on personally. Without trying to scapegoat anyone. So I'm not going to be calling any names, but I'll just stick to saying that we need to work on our backline. Press getting an opportunity to be around a winner in my... Oh. Blakey, how are you? Smart kid. The smart kid. Hi, good day. What time is it, guys? 3 minutes until I've been on air for. I'm telling you, time really does fly. I don't know if you guys have any additional questions before I close off on tonight's live stream. Actually, matter of fact, let me go through my notes to see that I've covered everything. Yes, I have. So I've spoken about the players who are omitted, again, for injuries and or other reasons, the returns, reintroduction, touched on the itinerary, and touched on the purpose of the friendly. So yeah, we've covered a couple grounds tonight, guys. Wow. Mr. Smith, used to like you. I used to like you, and now you've shown your true colors. Don't really think I like you anymore, but it was fun while it lasted, sir. New sub. I was thinking that. I definitely was thinking that. I've not seen you around here before. You are indeed a smart kid. If you've landed on my channel, that is. You're definitely someone smart. I'll give you guys a couple more minutes until I close off on the live stream. It's almost 2 a.m. here, guys. 20 20 minutes to 2 a.m. here in London. But I couldn't go to my bed. I would have felt guilty going to my bed and not giving you guys or talking through the. I know you would have seen the squad announcement already, but I would have felt guilty not giving you guys a little talk through, little run through. I couldn't wait until the morning. Mr. Richard Stevens, good morning, sir. How are you? Have you been? How is Ted? How is Ted the Red? Ted the Red. How is he? Good day. How are you? For players to be fit, they need to be match fit. That's what you're referring to, right? Um, Probably players like she can't really do much about that. The only thing Bunny and her teammates can do when they're inactive is to be in the gym. I don't expect them to be doing five-a-side kickabout because you're probably going to put yourself, you're risking a potential injury, especially if you're playing with bad-minded people. They'll brock you up on purpose. So the only thing that you can do really and truly is stay in the gym. The competitive element, the preseason element, that's down to your respective clubs and also your country. So when you link up for those all important friendlies or competitive games and so on. So yeah, I don't really think there's much that players like Bunny can do when it comes to um, dipping in fitness. When they're out of season, remember when you're out of season, that's your downtime. That's when you should let your hair down. Be disappointed if the players aren't letting their hair down because they work hard. Being a professional athlete is not an easy task. Um, that is far from an easy task. Discipline to be a bunny shaw, you need to be disciplined. So when out of season is placed in front of you, you embrace it, you enjoy it, you soak up the moment. Um, of course, while still remaining fit, again, in terms of doing your weightlifting or whatever it is you need to do. But I don't expect to see her doing five-a-side football because that's a little bit tricky. MPEC, good day, sir. How are you? Like up the shares and subscribe, people. They need to, Mr. Smith. Sometimes they don't treat me good, you know. I don't know why that is, but sometimes they're a little bit harsh. Sometimes they're a little bit harsh. Um, like I said, players when they're in out of season, they're entitled to enjoy themselves. I don't know what it's like to be in the shoes of a Bunny Shaw or any one of her teammates, but they're entitled to let their hair down, especially when you've just qualified for a World Cup. Yeah, eat as much as you want, take in the right fluids, stay in the gym. I wouldn't tell you to go and play five-a-side football, especially if you're in Jamaica. Definitely wouldn't tell you that. You don't have the right facilities for that to begin with. So these things can happen. The average person, look how many people put on a extra pound or something in a pandemic. These things can happen, guys. That's not a real big deal, really and truly. She can run that off. That's nothing to worry about. Put on a pound or two or lose a pound or two, you're still getting the same clinical bunny, if we're being honest here, guys. So whilst you guys might think that she looked a little bit different, she still delivered though, didn't she? And that's the most important thing. All the very best to the Reggae Girlz versus South Korea. Ted is well and excited about the forthcoming game. Ted the Red, always happy to have you in the room, young man. I didn't know what the Jamaican woman. I didn't know. Really? You didn't? When I am back from summer break, I will be. Exactly. People, you deserve it. Yeah, that's a demanding life to live. Being a professional athlete's a demanding life to live, and these athletes, especially a Khadija Shaw, highly disciplined. There's a reason why she's the captain. They're not just going. She didn't just get the captain's armband because of one wanting to keep her happy, not because she's Khadija. She got it because she's earned the stripes. She deserved to be the captain. Wonderful example, a mentor, an ambassador for her country. Never disappoints, whether that be for club or country. So yeah, she can do whatever she wants to do, in my opinion. Because yeah, she carries herself well. So I don't think anyone needs to worry about Bunny. She's fine. Was it really going to happen though, Mr. Rockford? Her brother plays for Chelsea, and then she went off and played for Chelsea. Her brother plays for England. Family dynamics. Could bet your last penny that she was always going to play for England. Let this be your news channel then. You're a smart kid, so let this be your news channel. I got you covered. I definitely got you covered with all things Reggae Girlz. And also I'll give you some stuff on the Reggae Boys as well. So I got you covered. Got you covered when it comes to the Sunshine Girls as well. A couple other sports here and there. I'm actually looking on the hunt for spiders, guys, because Warren has creeped me out. And he's probably gone because I haven't heard from him in a bit. So he's probably creeped me out and he's gone about his business. Tell you about those Tottenham fans. I'm going to start banning them from the stream, guys. Just looking for spiders. Yeah, I think that's why he is saying he is hoping, because I think he saw the announcement from today earlier on. Oh, my apologies. He said to tell you hello. He's okay. He's back in foreign waters, put it that way. But yeah, he said to tell you hello. I did tell him I would tell you hello next time we speak to each other. But he gives his best wishes. 4 more minutes. Let's take this to 1 hour and 10 minutes, and then we're going to sign off, guys. For now, for today. Oh. How happy are you guys with the squad? On a scale of 1 to 10, 10 being the highest, how happy are you guys with the squad? You guys in the comment section, because you guys seem to be the only ones that's interacting. You guys are the only ones who are engaging. Couple other people just silently watching. I don't know why that is, but at least they're here, right? At least they're here. And thank you to those of you who have hit the like button. Definitely appreciate each and every one of you. Thank you, sir. I'll try my best. I think Jodie has done it. Jodie has given us as much as she can. Let's remind ourselves that Jodie is young. She's young. The only you already didn't see her find the back of the net in the last window. That was it. That's why people are saying that probably underperform. It's not with intent. She didn't underperform with intent. And it's not just about stats, guys. It shouldn't just base our observation or analysis on the players solely based off of stats. Looking at what they're doing off the ball as well, looking at the energy, looking at what tempo they bring to the team, and so on. Contributions off the ball and so on. But she's played her part. She's played her role. She's young. She was tired. She was out of competition with her with it being closed season as it relates to her university. These things happen. She's human being. It was bound to happen at some point. That's why a player like Jodie Brown and Kiki Van Zanten, they need protection because they're not robots at the end of the day, you know? So they need to be protected. They're young and hearty, but at the end of the day, they're not robots. So if you don't protect them, what's going to happen is they're going to have a burnout. So I personally am pleased with Jodie's contribution for the qualifiers. I think she held her own. Even when she was standing on her last legs, she looks better than an average player. An average player can't tie the lace of Jodie Brown's boots. So that speaks volumes. Even with half a leg, she's still a solid player. Do you see what I'm saying? That's good. I can use my knowledge and boost my schoolmate because I don't know any. You're in the right place, smart. You see, you are a smart kid. Good luck with your schoolwork this year and beyond. I pray that you graduate with flying colors. And don't stream if I'm online and you're at school. Don't come on the channel. Focus on your schoolwork always. Don't stream whilst you're at school. Or maybe even when you're on your way home from school, you never know who's watching you. So don't be using your phone in unsafe places. Too generous. Some of the new names to me. Oh, okay. I didn't even realize. You guys are giving me 8 out of 10, 8 out of 10. Too generous with the new names, which is good for squad depth, I assume. I am late. I'll read the squad announcement for you again. Not a problem. The issue is about burnout. Very important. It's extremely important. I'm happy with Jodie's contribution. Said she's young. She's at university. I don't think people realize the ages within our squad. I don't know. People probably think that Jodie's 24. She's a baby. She's a young and hearty player, excellent player, yes, but she's young, guys. Let's not forget the age group of some of the girls in our squad. Youngster. Only turned 20 years old this year. She's young. Last year she was still a teenager. So let's not be too critical of the young players, especially when you might see them having a little bit of dip, and the dip is within reason, i.e. there's nothing that a Jodie Brown or a Kiki can do if they have a dip in form when it's close season for their university. Close season is when they're supposed to be letting their hair down. If you're being run or being governed by a serious federation, it's down to the federation to put you in camp before the larger camps, or put you in small camps and say, okay, here's the deal. You commit to us for this duration, and in return, we'll take care of XYZ. Or we're going to bring you to Jamaica. You'll be here for 2 weeks. 1 week you can chill with your friends and your family. The other week you go straight into camp. And then the other week you then meet up with the larger group of your teammates. But I'll come to an agreement. But if you let them run loose, they're gonna run loose, wouldn't you? If there's no one there to tell you you need to do this, you need to go and kick a ball about, and why would you do it? I'm not saying that they're not professionals, but summertime is when you're supposed to let your hair down. If you don't recharge your batteries, you're going to be useless. You will have no use. You won't even have a leg to stand on. Therefore, you are ineffective. So you got to meet them halfway. And I'm pretty sure if you're putting a deal like that on the table where you're saying if you're coming to Jamaica for 2 weeks and it is covered by the federation, because it should be, say yes, okay, your first week you go and do what you need to do with your friends and family, you recharge your batteries, and then you come into your smaller camp, then you go into your larger camp, and so on. That way people don't have to complain about the players' fitness. People don't have to say, oh, XYZ is looking different, and you don't have to complain about that. Sorry, I didn't read that. Good night, Irie Vibes. Off topic. Did you end up watching I saw glimpses of it. Saw glimpses, very pleased with him. Very pleased and over the moon with his achievements. Did you watch it? We have to demand high standards. If we accept below the par performances, things will slip. And before you know it, they fall off the wagon and become a wow. Hello. Sounding like a Manchester United fan. Not gonna let you get me in trouble with my Liverpool fans, you know. because when they're ready to come at me, you probably won't defend me. You'll be defending like Van Dyke, letting ball go right in the back of my net and all of that. Jodie Brown good in front of, but her movement. Yeah, Jodie's not the only player that didn't have their best performance in the last window, but for me that's to no fault of her own. Definitely to no fault of her own. She's tired, and you could see it that she's tired, but still committed to get the job done for her country. Empress kid name and Smith, and I figured it had some. That's why I mentioned the culture. I figured it would have a link there too, to the motherland. There we go. Keep the culture alive. You're onto something special. Definitely onto something special. Let me see if I can find one of my favorite programs. Like to line stuff up. I'm a night owl. You guys probably realize that already. I don't really sleep, guys. I'm up throughout the night. I like watching documentaries. So if you guys can tell me any documentaries that I should watch, let me know. And I'll buckle down and watch a couple documentaries. I said 5 minutes a while ago, didn't I? And here I am still. The role of the fan, I love this question. The role of the fan is to be the ultimate 12th man, so it goes beyond buying your football jerseys. People think the role of the fan is just you buying football jerseys and showing up at the stadiums and shouting at the top of your lungs. Anyone can do that. But beyond doing the normal is being, for me, one of the roles of the 12th man is to be the voice of the voiceless. So it's down to us to talk about issues that is clearly visible, issues that issues that are either affecting the players or could potentially affect the players. And reason why I say the voice of the voices is it's not rocket science, is it? There's going to be moments, or there is an moments where, or there has been moments either or, where the players are in certain positions and they can't speak on whatever the issue may be, and it's quite clear that there is an issue. And I think when we're in um said position, it's up to us to utilize our voice. There is strength in numbers, and to speak about those issues, because we know that there's certain consequences with speaking out, and doesn't matter if you're doing it from a professional standpoint or not. Sometimes, depending on who is in charge, depending on the player, if you speak out, then you might be met with consequence. A consequence could be you may never get a call up to the national team again, irrespective of how valuable you are to the team. So I think the role of the 12th man goes beyond wearing your football jerseys, buying your football jerseys, buying tickets to the game. One of the most critical, or one of the most important um role of the 12th man is to be the voice of the voiceless. You have to be the voice of the voiceless. That for me is something that I am quite big on. So that's why I don't really leave it to the players to speak on certain things, because 9 times out of 10, if you analyze certain situations, you can kind of see what's going on, or you can make a near accurate guess as to what's going on. Thus, when you find yourself in that position, you don't need to wait on a player. You don't need to be like, oh, Bunny's the captain. Bunny should be the one speaking out. Bunny is the captain, but she's not your spokesperson. You can't just have her as your everyday spokesperson. She's human. She has her personal life. She has her family that she needs to take care of, and so on and so on. So I think when we're in a position where it's as clear as daylight that something isn't right, it's down to us as the 12th man to utilize our voice to the best of our ability. Expose what needs to be exposed, of course, in a respectable manner. But yeah, just do what needs to be done. Do what needs to be done, guys. That's a given. I wouldn't even waste my time about you can, with all due respect, but I don't need to say to none of those players I expect you to give high standards, because they know that these are players that are playing in some of the most well respected leagues in the world. You don't play for a Manchester City or a, say, a Tottenham, or find yourself playing for a Leicester City or, a Crystal Palace, if you don't have high standards to begin with. High standards is what gets you there. So naturally they have that within them. So I don't need to be looking at a player that plays for your Tottenham or your Chelsea or your Manchester City, Crystal Palace, and say you need to have high standards. They're going to be looking and thinking, what on earth are you talking about? You don't, the players, especially black women, young black girls and black women, you don't play for a Manchester City or an Arsenal or a Chelsea or a Man United purely based off luck. You have to be twice as good naturally. So I don't even think women's football and men's football is different. I don't think you need to. Same could be said for male footballers when you're black. The idea of being twice as good. I don't think I need to say that to one of the Reggae Girls. They have that in them. That's ingrained. It's ingrained in them. That is something that is ingrained in them. That's been taught to them since birth. Worse when you're black. You know that you have to be twice as good. You know you have to have high standards. I should think it's no difference for your Bunny, your Jodie, your Tiffany Cameron, the whole lot. They know. They know that they have to have high standards. And you can't afford to be complacent neither, because someone else will take your position. Someone else will 100% take your position. Good day. How you? How you? This needs a full program. Why don't you come and join me? What dates do you have in mind? Like the question, by the way. Um, you're more than welcome to join me, whether that's via video link or via um, audio, so on the phone, whatever works best for you. You're more than welcome to come and join me, but you gotta understand that we're dealing with a different caliber of athletes, different caliber of players when you're looking at the Reggae Girls, you know. Like I said, I don't think there's any, I can't speak for players who are white or mixed race. I don't know your struggle, but I can speak for, I can't even speak for black players, but as a black woman, I can tell you, if you're serious about life and you want to achieve great things, you want success, you have to have high standards. So for me, it would be a little bit disrespectful for me to look at a bunny and tell them about they need to have high standards. How dare me say something like that? Naturally, they have that anyways in them, because you have to be twice as good when you're black. Whereas when you're female, 3 times as good. When you're young, 4 times as good. So we're fighting against the real world in the wider society. So when it comes to getting the job done, I should think they know what time of day it is. Mr. Rashid Matheson. Nice last surname. Twice as good for sure. 100%. Mr. Porter, good day. How are you? When do you want to jump on? Let me know when you want to jump on. Let me know when you want to jump on. Yeah, with these girls, discipline and standard isn't something I worry about with them. Yeah. Yep. 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 You gotta wonder what happens if the players playing in certain leagues as well. Like I said, I always scratch my head when players play for certain clubs and they're not in the starting 11, they're not even on the bench, and when you do the maths, they're not injured, and when they show up for their national team, they show up, in the sense of they give a good account of themselves. They're either scoring or assisting or helping to keep a clean sheet or doing all the above. and then they go back to their clubs, their respective clubs, and they can't even be part of the match day squad. You have to wonder what's going on here. Does make you wonder. But I like the question for sure. Mr. Beckford, how are you? Good day. How was work? Oh, we just want to see that. Thank you. I love you guys even more. The energy that you guys give to me. Oh, wow. Yeah, I'm not gonna lie to you. Sometimes I don't actually have the energy to come on here and speak with you guys, but because I know that you guys are so appreciative, I make an effort. Like for example, today, I was actually having a dinner meeting. Lovely, lovely meeting, by the way. And I knew I had a feeling that JFF would do the squad announcement today. And I was out just wrapping up. And actually I'm about to leave. And I was talking and then I saw the email on my phone and I was like, oh my gosh. Saw the announcement on my phone and I was like, great, just my luck, eh? Whilst I'm out. So on my journey home, I was doing my research and looking at the squad and so on. And so I said to myself, soon as I get home, I got to give you guys a live stream. Oh, oh, because you're still unwell. I'm sorry to hear. I am sorry to. How are you feeling? Mr. Stevens, you are the reason why Mr. Webster has been warring me. Please come back and take your beef. I do not want to take no part. Okay, I prefer to watch from a distance. So please come back and finish off your rounds with Mr. Webster. I'll quite happy be the commentator or a spectator. Okay? How are you feeling there, Mr. Beckford? Doing well. Yes, yes, I was not feeling good, Mr. Porter. I hang on for as long as I could. And even the following day, I felt worse the following day, a matter of fact. So good thing with me, I don't like to take painkillers, but there comes a time where I have to turn to my painkillers. Okay, let me put the thing in the comment section. So two ways there. You can either hit the link, which I'm going to put in the comment section, or you could call the number on WhatsApp. So the line is actually open. You can call the number on WhatsApp, or you can go ahead and hit the link, whichever floats your boat, whichever makes you happy and comfortable. You can go ahead and do that, Mr. Stennett. I watched the fight. Leon done Jamaica proud, first Jamaican-born MMA champion. His achievement will inspire many different Jamaicans. 100%. If there's anything Jamaicans can do, is fight. So, yeah, we should have more world champions in the future. Thank you, Mr. Rockford. Thank you. You guys bring the best out of me because, like I said, sometimes I don't have the energy. Do not have the energy to do a thing, but because you guys are receptive, I just find it in me to just go and get the job done. So let's see if Mr. Stennett's going to come on, and then we can wrap up the show shortly, guys. Okay, I'm pretty sure Mr. Rockford said he didn't see the pretty sure he said he didn't see the squad announcement. All right, let's read out that squad announcement once more. let's start off between the sticks, right? That's the best way to read that squad announcement, I think. So, between the sticks, goalkeepers' positions, we have Sydney Schneider, Yasmin Jameson, Leah Brooks. In defense, we have Chantel Swaby, Alison Swaby, Vian Sampson, then Blackwood, Siobhan Wilson, Malia Atkins. In midfield, we have Chinelu Asher, Marlo Sweatman, Drew Spence, Shania Hales, Giselle Washington, Tierney Wiltshire, Sade Adamulakan, Tiffany Cameron. And to complete the pack in the forward line, we have Khadija Shaw, Kayla McCoy, Mariah Gray, Atlanta Primus, Trudy Carter, Cameron Simmons. Interesting positioning for a couple of those players, by the way, there, guys. So that is the I have to say that is the Rockford. That is the squad there, Mr. Rockford. Hope it floats your boat. Do you know I am the best MMA fighter ever to be on earth? Well, if you say so, Mr. Blakey, who am I to disagree with you? Even if you told me that you're the best Superman there is or best Spider-Man, I'll believe you. I'm looking both ways before crossing the road to join you. Warren can move. He's been killing me for the last couple of live streams. All right, we've got a caller coming in, one of the regulars. One moment there, guys. Mr. Beckford, how are you?
I'm not too bad.
How you feeling?
I'm coming on.
Yeah? You can hear me?
It's almost 2 weeks, so yes, it's almost 2 weeks, so I'm feeling much better now.
Okay, that's great. That's great. What do you make of what's been said so far?
I missed a lot of what was said because I didn't get no notification again. I was just scrolling on YouTube and I saw that you were live.
Okay, I don't know what's going on with the YouTube, so I do apologize. I'm not really sure why it's not giving you your notification. I sense little YouTube's fighting against my channel at the moment. I don't know why, but we need to get to the heart of what's going on. You happy with the squad announcement?
If that is the case, I'll stop using YouTube.
Are you happy with the squad announcement?
I didn't hear it. I missed that part. So.
Okay, I'll go ahead and read it out for you because I know you're going to be in the comment section, so I'll read it out for you before I close off the show. Okay. Do you have anything else that you'd like to add?
Well, the squad selected. I didn't know it will be selected this soon. It depends. When is the friendly again? Because I don't remember.
The friendly is scheduled for the 3rd of September, and the behind closed training match, again, both games against South Korea, is scheduled for the 6th of September.
Okay. One issue probably will be the fitness. I don't know the fitness of the girls because not every one of them is playing in their league start as yet.
Yeah, a few of their leagues have been started
So
yet.
yes, probably.
And a few of the girls who are playing or belonging into leagues who have kick-started, some of them have been sitting on the bench.
Okay. Well, I just want the girls to go there and do their best, which they always do. That's one thing with the girls. I'm always expecting them to do well.
Yeah.
Yeah. Then they not all the time they will win, but even when they lose and fight, we will appreciate it because there are some teams that are far better than us, and we should just admit it. Our girls are gifted.
You got to whisper that quietly. You don't want no one coming for you.
Well, I don't care who want to attack me in the comment section. The truth is the truth. I like to pretty up things, but not all the time.
Yeah, you have to be
Sometimes
a realist. You have to be realistic.
and sometimes when you do that, we are just put ourselves in more denial. Our girls are improving, and we are just hoping for them to continue. They are not at US level as yet, but one day they will.
Mm-hmm. Definitely.
But
Definitely.
it's in this system because our football program can do much better. But until certain things are put in place from developmental stage and so on, then I will be more optimistic.
Yeah, definitely. Definitely. It's always good to hear from you. And it sounds like you're in you're in good spirit. So said it's been 2 weeks since you came down with COVID, unfortunately. So you're sounding in good health. So hopefully your recovery continues on the same trajectory.
Okay, thanks a lot.
You're welcome. All right, well, enjoy.
Just
Carry on.
I catch you before your show close.
Yeah.
But YouTube needs to do better. But once I see that you're like anything I'm doing, I'm definitely gonna stop and come support you because I like the show.
Thank you.
And I like what you're doing.
Thank you. I appreciate the support. Definitely doesn't go unnoticed.
I will join you one day soon when the time is right.
Please do. You're one of the regulars. You're part of the furniture. So whenever you're happy and comfortable to show your face on camera, then please do come and join me and the rest of the guys. Philip has, I think there's a slight little technical error there with Philip, guys. But you might hear from him again. In the meantime, here's what I'm going to do. Not really sure what's happened to Mr. Beckford. Here's what I'm going to do. I'm gonna bring back on Mr. Stennett here. Did bring him on earlier on. Let's see if we can get him to reappear. Good day, sir. How are you?
Hello, Crystal. Can you hear me?
I can hear you loud and clear. How are you? You look happy. What's floating your boat? What's the secret?
The secret is supporting Manchester United.
Oh, dear God. That's what's keeping you happy? You're not love yourself.
I've been smiling from the mind. I can't stop smiling.
You know what? I don't begrudge you because that's the blockbuster Premier League game, Liverpool versus Man U. That's the showstopper. So congratulations. That must make you
Thank you very much.
You're
it
welcome.
makes me feel awesome. Yeah, so first time being on your program.
Yes,
but you know I'm a big supporter already.
Name. Yeah, thank you.
I think we're from the same parish.
Yep, you're from the best parish in Jamaica.
I am. Well, I that's where I am right now.
Really? What's the best parish in Jamaica?
We all know it starts with S.
We gotta keep that quiet, you know, because we don't want to lose viewers. We don't want to lose viewers.
Yeah. So I mean, yeah. So that question that I asked has always been something that intrigues me. What is the role of a fan? Because I've so many different approaches taken by the Jamaican fans as opposed to the foreign fans. Like I support Manchester United, and the way we approach our team is very different from Jamaica. I think Jamaicans are honest. It's not really that case when you're supporting your English based team. Like I speak for Manchester United. We believe in backing the team when the team is playing, but we are not afraid to call out the owners, the players, anything that will stand in the way of the team, because the teams come first and no individual player.
Yeah. I think what you have to put it down is, and I love your question, I think it comes down to culture and it's the culture, not just your it's not just the culture that you see on TV, it's the culture that you can feel around you. And
Yeah.
I've obviously had the privilege being born in the greatest parish in Jamaica, then coming over here in England. I can see the difference in culture, and you can feel it.
Yeah.
You can
Yep.
feel the difference in culture. And it's I think it's sad to say, but I've met people who are based in Jamaica, and they love their club football more than they love their national team. And that for me is that it blows my mind. I'm like, how can that be? That's literally your compatriot that you should be
Yeah.
supporting. If anything, it should be the other way around. You should be willing to die for your compatriot. But to an extent, you can see why the love and the engagement is different, because sadly we've seen the way that some footballers treat their fans as it relates to the national senior team, for example the men's team. And if you're treating your fans in a disrespectful manner, or you're not giving them the respect that they deserve, or you're arguing with them on social media, they're not going to care about you. They're not going to back you. There's a reason why, outside of the fact of the outside of their success, there's a reason why there's this love and affection for the Reggae Girls. And it's not simply because they're women. It's because of how they respect the colors that they play for, and also above all the fact that they respect their fan base. They engage with their
You're
fan
right.
base, speak to their fan base, and you can feel that sincere connection. Like there's no hype, there's no I'm more important than you. You know, I've had the pleasure of meeting our captain Bunny, both in Jamaica and also in England, and every occasion is a warm encounter. There's
Yeah.
no,
Yep.
oh, I'm the superstar and you're just the person who does the interview. They don't make you feel like that. But so I think, one, you have to look at the character of the players that represent us. It's kind of similar to your track and field as well, different personalities. So you warm to them. When somebody has an open personality and they give you the respect that you deserve, you
Uh-huh.
naturally give it back to them. So you're gonna ride for them. You're
Yeah.
definitely going to ride for them. But they're disrespecting you, and you see that there's someone coming to harm them, you probably will tell them, say, hey, look up, but you're not going to put your body on the line for them because they don't
Yeah.
respect you.
Yeah. I agree. And just as you said it, I think there is a very big female team's response to the fans and the male team's response to fans,
Mm-hmm.
generally speaking. I don't
Yeah.
know if it's based on instruction. Don't talk to fans. I don't understand, but they don't. The male team, for example, they don't respond well to criticism. Um,
Yeah.
you know, it was coming from the coach at the time, because the coach, at the time, he was not a fan of the media. He says football isn't played on YouTube. So I don't
But
know if
here's
that's a
here's
spin
the
off.
thing, Mr. Stennett.
Yeah.
You don't like the media, but when it all hits the fan, who do you turn to? You turn to the media.
You have
When you're
to.
not being paid and your salary is looking like it's not coming through for next month, who do you turn to? You turn to the media. So you can't
Yeah.
have it both ways.
Yeah,
You can't
exactly.
have, you have to have basic respect. You need to do your job and I need to do my job. Yes, there's times where I have to criticize the federation. I don't want to have to say that a person needs to be placed under the microscope, or you probably don't deserve to be in your position. But if you're not doing your job, it is my job to do my job, and part of my job is to give you that objectivity. The
Hmm.
objectivity for you might be a little bit unfortunate if you're not doing your job effectively well or at all.
Yeah,
So
and
you
it's a
can't
part
have
of
it both ways.
it's a part of being a professional. You have to understand that you will be criticized at times.
Mm-hmm.
And not all criticisms, even though they might be caustic at times, are you know are coming from a bad place, if you understand what I'm saying.
Yeah, yeah.
People want their team. So when I made a comment earlier about Bunny Shaw's weight, meant
Mm,
her, I mean her well, because I know what she can be when she is firing on all cylinders. The ceiling is very high for Bunny Shaw. I think she's right up there at the top,
yeah.
and I don't want complacency to set in. I've seen it so many times with players over the years. Maybe not with the females, but with
Mm,
males. They let one thing slide. You see newspaper articles coming out that they've been caught in a bar somewhere, and they're always on the back pages, and before you know it, they're out of football, and I don't want
Yeah.
that to happen.
I don't know Bunny on a personal level, but I can almost bet my last pound and say that she's not going to be that complacent player. One, she's playing in a country where the opportunity for black girls, young black women is far and few when it comes to working in football, both on the field of play and off the field of play. She knows that she has to work 3 times as hard as her white male or female counterparts. She knows that. She's coming from the trenches of Jamaica. She's gone through the education system in America, played over in France, and now she's in England.
Yeah,
And he used to say her next move is probably either going to be either you stay in England, maybe not long term with City. She's got the world is her oyster. She can go back to France to play for one of the most successful clubs in France, or she could make her way to Spain. The world is literally she's got the world in the palm of her hands, and I know she's not gonna fumble it. She's not going to fumble because there's just too much there. Like, yes, and also she knows that she's got her nation on her shoulder. Nobody need to tell her that you are the captain of Jamaica. There's so many little girls that look up to you, that want you to do well, that are literally, and it's not just the fans, it's her and her family as well. Because she is essentially the breadwinner for her family. She don't need nobody to tell her that. For the average person like us, me and you, that could move overseas, we would naturally be the breadwinner for our family. So, okay, you have to send money back to your grandparents, and that's something that we have to do. Now, imagine if you're a Khadija Bunny Shaw.
yeah.
Me, I probably I just have my grandma, my granddad fella passed away last year, so it's just my grandma in Jamaica and her husband. If you're Khadija Bunny Shaw, you have your parents, you have cousins, you have this person, you have that person. She probably can't walk through her community in peace
I can imagine,
because
but
of the sheer responsibility. She's not going to fumble.
I
She's not
hope
going
so.
to fumble. She
Well,
won't fumble.
I I see it as a responsibility of mine to
Mhm.
ensure she doesn't fumble. Do whatever I can to push her, and
She
if that,
won't. She won't.
you
And
know,
she's in such a privileged position at the moment with her club situation at Manchester City as well. And for me, the ball is firmly in her court. Because you either give Bunny Shaw the equity and the equality in terms of the equity is giving her the right tools so that she can become sharper. Because the job is for them is to develop her. She's class. She can be above that, above class. She could put herself in a position where she's more than generational talent. It's down to City to get the best out of her, more than the best out of her, turn her into a beast, basically. And if they're not willing to give her the equity that would enable her to do such tasks, then she will inevitably move on to another club who's going to give her the equity with the equality. You can't give someone equality and not give them the equity, or give them the equity but don't give them the equality. You're selling yourself short. You're robbing yourself of success. So she's in a position. Last season, I was a little bit worried for her, because she had fallen down the pecking order, and you can understand because you have a couple of the well-established England girls, the girls who play for England above her. Yes, they play. She plays in England, so it's a given that Man City are going to want to take care of England products because it's an
but
English club. But now things
uh,
have changed at Manchester City, and I should think she's gone up the pecking order. But it is why I say the ball is in her court, because now she's wearing the captain's armband for her country. Couple players we've seen a retirement of Ellen White. We've also seen players depart Manchester City, so she should have gone up the pecking order. If Manchester City are not willing to give Bunny equity and equality, mark my words, someone serious is gonna come and take her from them, and they can do nothing about it. So for me, it's just like the ball is in her court, and she's not going to fumble that.
I share a different view, and strange enough, for the very same reasons. I'm saying
Yeah.
because she ball is in her court now. She has to be very, very, very careful because take a lot. At that level, it doesn't take a lot for her to fall down the pecking order, and we saw that happen already. So,
Mhm.
and particular, she's in England. She is. It will be very easy, I'm saying, for the club to find an excuse to say, hey, You're not number one. They're gonna look for the new shiny object at all
But
times.
they
So
found excuse, and when they find the excuse and they give Bunny 90 seconds, she's finding the back of the net or she's finding the assist. So the joke is on you. The
good.
joke is literally on them to say that you have a firepower on the bench and you're not utilizing her. So are you cutting your nose off to spite your space? And if you are
Right.
doing that, what's the reason for that?
And
What is the reason for that?
and
That's where it gets a little bit political.
yeah, and that is the reaction that a player should have. When you fall down the pecking order, don't drop your head. You
Hmm.
should try any chance you get to
Yeah,
make it count. That's
yeah,
what the great players have. So I want her to keep that drive on and off the pitch. One of
yeah,
my favorite footballer is Cristiano Ronaldo, and if you can see his regime, the man is 38 now, and he's training every day more than people almost half his age. You
yeah,
have to keep the standards high, and that's
yeah.
my view.
Yeah, I think she's going. I don't worry about Bunny because I think, like I said, she's shown signs that if you want to sell yourself short, you play silly. Look, life is funny. You play silly games, you win silly prizes. If you
Mm,
want to try and intentionally or unintentionally stifle the growth of Khadija Bunny Shaw's career, what's going to happen is that contract is going to run down and you're going to be getting zero penny when it comes to keeping hold of Bunny Shaw because she's only strapped down to said club due to a contract. Now, if you're not being fair and equal to her and giving her the respect that she deserves, like I said, another club is going to take her and give her the respect that she deserves. I'm a big fan of going where you are wanted, not where you're tolerated. So if you're not going to respect me as the captain of Jamaica that's led my country to a second successive World Cup appearance, then someone else will be looking at me and someone else will give me the respect that I deserve. And as it relates to, because obviously you spoke on body changes for Bunny, and I think that's natural. Oftentimes you see that when players go on their summer breaks, more so you probably don't see it with certain players because maybe if they do have a change in their image, they probably stay off social media and so on, and they trim down. And why do you think players, particularly the main male players, when they're on their summer vacation, you see them missing, all of a sudden you see them on a treadmill? Why are you showing me on yourself on a treadmill? Because they want us to know that they haven't
exactly.
disinfected their
You have to do
faces.
that.
You have been doing that. But you're showing yourself on a treadmill because you want to perceive yourself to be XYZ, you're serious, you're committed,
Right.
whatever you need to do. But just because you're not seeing a Khadija Bunny Shaw do that does not mean that she's complacent. Also, we have to look at the fact that the finances that gets turned around between the men's game and the women's game is completely different. Completely different. So the most that a female player can do, even if you're playing in those well respected leagues, is you probably can't afford to go and rent out a condo like your male counterparts, but you probably have to go and run around the block. As sad as it may seem, you probably have to go run round the block. You probably have to go do a little bit of a half marathon, whatever it may take. You might have to go down to a gym that is not lavish, just so that you can keep yourself in good shape. But what I will say with Bunny is, yes, even if there was changes that you touched on, she still delivered. And that's why I say that she can't be complacent because she's showing signs that she's not complacent.
Good.
Even with changes, she's still delivering, and that's her number one job is to deliver on the pitch, and she's doing it.
Well, she does. She definitely has the talent.
Yeah,
So she will do that. I
yeah,
just want to ensure that her body is keeping up with her talent because after a while, your talent can take you so much and no more if you don't have that physical capability. So, but I take your word for it, and she definitely delivered. So I'm looking for even bigger and better things this year. So big
she's
up
gonna be
yourself,
fine.
Bunny.
Yeah, remember, she came close to getting a hat trick,
Yeah,
um, the other day from Manchester City as well. So
good stuff,
she's
man.
gonna be fine. She's definitely going to be fine. I'm not worried about. If there's one player to not worry about, Bunny is one player that I won't be worrying about because she knows what's in front of her.
Hmm.
She knows that it's a privilege, and it's a privilege that she's earned every right to play for Manchester City, and it can only get better. Bunny's career is not going to go from Manchester City to playing in I don't know, say a conference league. She's not going back to grassroots football. She's gonna keep on playing for those well-respected clubs, and so on. So yeah, I don't worry about her. I think she'll be more than all right, in my
Okay.
opinion.
A little bit about Jodie Brown.
Jodie Brown,
Yeah, what's your views?
massive fan of Jodie Brown. Massive fan of Jodie Brown and Kiki. Those are two players that I think that we need to protect at all costs. We can't just overwork them because they are young. They are young players. They're still at university. They need to be protected. Sometimes even protected from themselves. Because if you're calling up
Yeah.
a Jodie Brown, even when Jodie Brown is on her last leg, she's still going to tell you yes. What you don't want is for a Jodie Brown to turn out into there. As much as I love the player to bits, is a Marcus Rashford where you're running your body
Oh,
through the ground.
careful.
Stop for a second. You know what I'm saying? Stop for stop for a second, breathe and go again. Like you need to have your rest period. You need to be able to know what you can and can't commit yourself to. I don't expect a Jodie Brown to get a call up from Jamaica and say no. So this is where it comes in play for the coaching staff to be like, okay, if we've got three games in front of us, if Jodie's had a thick calendar with her university where Jodie's always going to be in the starting 11, don't then run her through the ground when you've got her in the national team, because your duty when she's in the national team, whether you're one of the young players, young girls, or whether you're one of the women in the team, once you're under the umbrella of the national team, it's your coach's job to be your parents. So that
Mm.
simply means they have to protect you from yourself. So that's where we need that healthy squad depth. That's where we need to rely on maybe not necessarily a younger version to Jodie Brown, because that's just ridiculous. Jodie's still a baby. Jodie and Kiki are still babies. So you need to be looking at the more experienced players that can take the weight off a Jodie Brown and say, I've got it from here. You rest. But all those decision making rest in the hands of the gaffer.
Yeah, and I agree with you 100%. Um, and particularly because of her age, players of that age tend to be, inconsistent, before they really settle down and give consistent performances. So I think
Mhm.
that would explain, I would call it a dip in the last window. Um, so she needs to take note of, can be, giving us below Jodie performances, because we know what she can be. So again, I have to keep her up to that standard, but knowing that, these inconsistencies can happen. So,
Yeah, yeah, go on.
question: Do you think we need another striker? Somebody
Striking. If
senior.
I'm being completely honest with you, strike force isn't really something that I'm concerned about.
Mhm.
It's not. I think it's an area that we are okay with the striking position at the moment. I would love to see us polish the defense. Would love across the back line. I'd love to see us polish the defense. Would love to look at full back, centre backs, because you need squad depth. Just like I say, you can't run a Jodie Brown into the ground because she's not a robot. You can't expect to run the Swaby sisters through the ground neither,
Yeah, but tell me
because
something.
it will show. Doesn't matter if they have an understanding, doesn't matter if they have a solid partnership. They are not robots. You can't run them through the ground. And also when people are formulating their opinion of the players, you have to say to yourself, what's going on with them at their club? Because if players are inactive at their club, don't expect them to come in and be miracle workers when they're in the national team. Now people might fight back and say that, why did they accept the call up? Why wouldn't they accept the call up? The onus is on the gaffer to say, are you inactive at your club? If you are inactive at your club, I'm going to bring you in, but I'm also going to bring cover for you as well so that you're not overly exposed, right?
Yeah.
Because then you have to look at the match fitness of the players. If they're inactive at their clubs and they're sat on the bench not getting minutes, then they're going to lack match sharpness. So again, you have to look at the gaffer and say the gaffer and his coaching staff, they should know that. They should know that because the research is right there in front of them. Look and see who is inactive and who needs to be
Yeah.
protected when they come into the national setup.
Yeah. Perspective. I think the defense is pretty good, to be honest. And I'm judging from the last. But that forward line, I think, is a bit over dependent on Shaw. If Shaw gets injured, gets eliminated from we are struggling. We're struggling to score. The drop off is too steep. I personally think we need one more person who is a proven goal scorer. For one more person.
I think
Um,
it probably carry on.
yeah, because again, depending on Jody is probably a little bit too much, to rescue us if Shaw doesn't deliver. So I think one more person would probably help with that balance.
I think yeah, I still think that we need to polish our defense. It's not the area. I'm not entirely satisfied with our defense. I think it needs to be polished. In terms of relying too much on Bunny, there's a reason why she is the captain. So she's naturally going to have a heap amount of workload. There's not going to be another Bunny Shaw. If Jamaica can find another Bunny Shaw, that is Jesus himself that we've managed to recruit to play for us. We're not finding another Bunny Shaw. That's a generational talent that we're looking at. But what we can do, and it's down to the gaffer himself, is how you accommodate your players, because we know that Tiffany can play as your forward, Bunny can play as your forward, Sade can play as your forward, Paige Bader Gale can play as your forward, Kayla McCoy can play as your forward. Straight away, you have experienced women who have either Mariah Gray can play as your forward, women who have either been at the last World Cup, or women who are of a certain age and are delivering for their respective clubs. So you can, to an extent, fill the void of saying, I'm resting Bunny Shaw, I'm taking her off in the 70th minute or taking her off in the 60th minute and putting someone in her position. But again, that comes down to the manager. The coach has to protect his players, because what you don't want is to put your players at risk of getting a burnout, because then you've got your back against the wall.
Yeah, you're right on that. So I mean, all right. So we'll see what happens. You showed the picture of Lorne and Lorne smiling away. So I guess he's happy now.
Yeah.
So so we'll see. I think this competition is to look at a few players. I believe, right?
Yeah, so they say. Lauren is showing his full 32. I want to know what's sweet in
Yeah,
him.
yeah,
Whatever
exactly.
sweet him, I want that as well. Who's his agent? I might need to borrow
Yeah,
Lauren's agent.
sure. You know,
Lauren's agent might have to string up a contract for me.
yeah.
Um,
I hope they paid him. I hope they paid him because didn't they owe him some money before?
I don't think you can mess about over Lorne Donaldson. I think you
Oh,
have to
okay.
pay him. I don't really think you're gonna be Lauren. Lauren looks like you'll be you get you in a room. Turn off those cameras. Wanna have a word with you.
But I think Lauren is the right man for the job at
Yeah,
this
it
time.
don't
He
seem like
has
something that you're
shown,
gonna mess
yeah,
about with.
yeah, he's a thinking coach. You can say that. I really like that. It's very rare when you can say we have out coached a team, and I think we did that the last window. The coach really showed his class, so and I think he fully deserved this opportunity.
Mm.
He can do with the
Mm.
girls. So yeah, I'm trusting his process. He has earned my respect, and I whatever he does now, because it's working, I will stick with him. That's my
Yeah,
view on him.
yeah, we have to get behind whoever the gaffer is. I still think it's going to be Lauren, but no, it's not the time for the fan base to be divided. So even if
Right.
people have personal issues or preferred desires as to who they want as the head coach, that doesn't really matter. You have to just work with what you've got. He's got a million one things on his plate that he needs to deal with. So not having the 12th man on side is just he could do without that headache. So people just need to get behind him, back him, support him, and
Yeah.
yeah, just give the girls the necessary support.
Yeah, he definitely quieted the critics by qualifying. There
Mm.
I don't see anybody complaining now. Everybody is want to be the man.
Fan
So
base are like that,
kudos to him.
Football fans can be a little bit fickle. If you win matches and you're the nicest things in sliced bread, if you don't win, you're mildew and they want to put you in the bin.
Yeah, I actually understand that as a fan, because if it wasn't that way, we have to be that way for a reason. When the coach
Yeah,
loses, it can be all smiley faces. No,
yeah,
we have to keep that
definitely.
competition.
How did you come across the channel?
Uh I don't know. I guess it popped in my feed. I was started on coach's desk, and I think
Oh, really?
yeah. I think I found coach's desk first, and then Talawa. You know, I
Okay.
love the growth of the channel. Um,
Yes, thank you.
addition
I'm
of
glad that you can see the growth.
of course, and I'm pushing you as well, Chris.
Yeah, I
Standard
appreciate
high for
it.
you,
I
as
think it's
well.
because we're from the same parish. That's why you're doing a
Exactly.
little bit extra work.
Yeah, you are the Khadija Shaw of of YouTube.
Oh wow, that is high
You understand?
compliments. That is high compliments. I'll take that.
Oh
I'll
yeah.
definitely take that. Thank you very much.
Mhm. Keep up the
I
good
appreciate.
work.
I will do, sir. I definitely will do. And it's great to put a face to the name. And thank you for your questions. Thought provoking, but I'm glad I was able to discuss them with you in the comment section and also face to face as well. I appreciate it.
Sure. Anytime. Anytime.
Thank you. Any final comments?
Well, you kind of said it. Get behind this team, people. Lorne has proven that he has a brain on that body, and the girls are, they seem very eager and ready to make a not just playing it to go somewhere in this World Cup. So get
Mhm.
behind them.
Amen. I like that. Thank you for supporting the channel. It's great to have you in my corner. Long may it continue. Don't know what your plans are for the rest of the week, but if you are out and about, I hope and pray that you make it home safe and sound.
Oh,
And
yeah,
when your team plays over the weekend,
when we
for
win, yeah.
I can't even say those words, but yes, 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 definitely.
Oh yeah. All right. Take care then.
Yes. All right, sir. Take it.
All right. Bye bye.
Bye bye. Miss Rochelle Brown. Good night, lovely lady. How are you? How you doing? How was work? How's your day going? Mr. Powell, good night, sir. How you? Who are the names or the players named for the game? I'm gonna get into that for you. Mr. Gregory Reed, good evening, sir. How are you? Tiffany will be playing in the practice match. Yippee! The way you lot love Tiffany Cameron, that is adorable. Hello, how are you doing? Glad to get. I am well. When you guys are in the comment section, I am well. How are you? We need some more forwards and midfield. I think we need defenders. England are so greedy, so greedy. Maybe it might not be England. Maybe it might be Lauren James. Like I said, for Lauren, I'm not disheartened by it. I get it. It makes sense. Sometimes we have to think what do the players want. Sometimes it's not solely England. For Lauren James, you've got your family dynamic. Your brother plays for Chelsea. You were playing for Man U. Then you went to play for Chelsea. Your brother plays for England. It's a no-brainer that you'd want to continue that similarity there. You both play for the same club and now you're both playing for the same country. So with Lauren James, I'm not surprised by it and I'm not mad at it. She has to do what makes her happy. IT Push, good night, sir. How are you? I see a young girl in the USA, top class only, and she's clinical with the next Khadija Shaw. Yes, I know who you're talking about. She is clinical. Yes, she's got a height on her. I know exactly who you're talking about. She is bad. She is bad. Yeah, she is bad, Tasia. So why don't you give the information about? I know who he's talking about. But thank you though, but I know who he's referring to. I saw her goal maybe a week ago inside the box. So we should get Shaw that player for this year. I am about to love you and leave you guys in a short while. Oh my god. What's I gonna do? Squad announcement. Squad announcement. I think I saw the video on Instagram, guys, and I can't remember whose page I saw it on, but I'm sure I saw it on Instagram. I'll have to go back and try and find it for you guys. But here's where we're at. Here is where we are at with the players. It would help if I remove the banner, wouldn't it? I'm feeling for some oranges, guys. Lately, I've been craving oranges. Don't ask me why. Actually, I bought some oranges the other day and they were lovely. So I'm hooked. Which is good because I need to have more fruits anyways. Let's move on. Squad announcements. For those of you who are asking in the comment section, this one reads as follows. We're gonna do a proper reading. So that simply means we're starting between the sticks. And we have Sydney Schneider, Yasmin Jameson, Leah Brooks. In defense, we have Chantel Swaby, Alison Swaby, Vian Sampson, Denden Blackwood, Siobhan Wilson, Malia Atkins. In midfield, we have Chinelu Asher, Marlo Sweatman, Drew Spence, Shania Hales, Giselle Washington, Tierney Wiltshire, Sade Adamulakan, Tiffany Cameron. And in the forward line, we have Khadija Shaw, Kayla McCoy, Mariah Gray, Atlanta Primus, Trudy Carter, and Cameron Simmons. So you will notice there right off the jump, as I've said, so let me reiterate, from the World Cup qualifiers, so the duration of the World Cup qualifiers, you will notice that they're for this new squad, squad announcement, my apologies, for the pending friendly against Korea. We'll be playing against South Korea on the 3rd of September, followed by a close training match, that is, guys, on the 6th of September, again against South Korea. So that is the squad that will be those are a few of the players that will be in contention for those two games there. So you would have noticed that there is no Rebecca Spencer, Havana Salone, Paige Bailey Gale, Jodie Brown, Satara Murray, Jade Bailey, Alika Keane, and Kiki Van Zanten. You will, however, notice the welcome return of Tiffany Cameron, Marlo Sweatman, Giselle Washington, and somewhat a reintroduction of Siobhan Wilson and also Shania Hales as well. So what we're going to do is we're going to go into another reading of the today's press release, to go with the squad announcement, so that we're all on the same page here. Let's not leave anyone in the dark. Let's not leave any of our soldiers behind. Let's get everyone up to speed. Right, let's go and read that. Don't worry if you can't see on the screen. I'm going to do the reading for you. The press release reads as follows. Coach Lorne Donaldson and his coaching staff have selected the 23 member squad to represent Jamaica in an international friendly against South Korea on September 3rd at the Hosung Sports Complex in South Korea. The game is scheduled to begin 3 a.m. Jamaica time, 5 p.m. local. The Reggae Girlz will also engage the same opposition in a practice match on September 6th. The call-ups reflects a strong unity, with the majority being members of the World Cup qualifiers squad. A few of the more popular names are missing from the list through injury. As part of his stated policy, the coach will be using the opportunity of this and other window this year to look at other players who were not involved in the recent World Cup qualifiers. 4 players of those names are yet to debut for the senior team. The possible debutants are Cameron Simmons, Leah Brooks, Siobhan Wilson, and Malia Atkinson. The squad and the technical staff are scheduled to assemble in Hosung on August 30th. So there we go. We're all up to speed. You guys don't need to watch this video from the start. I've brought you right up to speed. All right, where am I? That's on. I don't know. YouTube is taking liberties with me, guys. They're not notifying you guys when I'm live. I don't know why they're doing that. Might have to have a word with them. What do you mean by that, Mr. Webster? You've lost me with that one. I'm a bit slow, Mr. Webster. You might have to add a bit of clarity to that one for me, please and thank you. Great work you were doing. Love your commitment to your country and the fans and the girls. Blessings always. You have a good. Oh, thank you. Thank you to you guys. You guys are the ultimate 12th man. I couldn't sit here for what's this? 2 hours. We've gone past 2 hours and 15 minutes, and there's no way I could sit here without you guys in the comment section. You guys are incredible. So there's a name that you guys were asking Mr. Scott for. Clinical finish on her. Not all the time connection matters. It's the final decision as to exactly they might not want to play for Jamaica, guys. Sometimes we have to just humble ourselves, you know. Not everyone loves Jamaica the way we love Jamaica. Who knows? Jamaica probably tried a million times and she could be prolonging the process, steadily waiting on her call up. The desire. A lot of people don't grow up wanting to play for the Reggae Girlz, you know, guys. Little girls in Jamaica now and across the diaspora will grow up saying they want to play for Jamaica, but think about it. 20 years ago, you think those girls, certain girls, unless you are brought up in a rich Jamaican culture within your household, you're not growing up saying you want to play for Jamaica, if we're being honest. You're just not. It's not going to happen. Are you injuries? Are you is that outside of the injuries? Is that outside of injuries, Mr. Webster? Still a little bit lost by what you're asking me. Mr. Scott doing the devil's work. Oh, I get you now. Well, preparation is key, and how well do we prepare for tournaments? And also, we have to look at the quality of those coaches that manage the underage age group. How good are they? Are they any good? Or are they just lucky to be in a privileged position? Yeah, I have seen her. I've seen her. Definitely seen her. Wow, 53 of you. I'm going to be closing off soon, guys. Sorry, I gotta let me bring that back. I had to remove the lights out of my eyes. Let me actually dim it, because this light's been in my eyes for about over 2 hours. Really bright. So just move it back a little bit. I'm gonna be closing off soon. Thank you to those of you who have hit the like button. Very kind of you. To those of you who haven't hit the like button, not so kind at all. I think that is it, guys. 2 more minutes. Gonna give you guys 2 more minutes, and then I'm gonna have to love you and leave you. Thank you to Mr. Stennett for coming on. That was the debut. That was his debut on the platform. Hopefully we'll get to see him as a regular in the near future. And the rest of you who are a little bit hesitant to come and show your face, please don't feel like that. I don't bite. I've never bitten anyone in my life. I'm looking at 30, so I don't think I'm going to develop that habit. So please do come on the platform, dial the number at the bottom of the screen, or come and show your beautiful faces. Would be nice to have a conversation with you guys outside of the comment section. All right? So in your own time, please show your face. All right, let's see. Mr. Reed, good night. You are bringing the... 100%. Good night to yourself, Mr. Reed. Mr. Warren Webster, you are absolutely welcome. May the Lord continue to bless you as well. May the Lord continue to bless all of you guys in the comment section. Thank you for being the ultimate 12 man. I am so glad that you guys can see the growth of the platform, because I am I can actually feel the growth of the platform. And I'm glad that you guys can feel it as well. What long are you guys referring to? Every time you mention those guys, I'm looking around for them. Oh God, I hate them. Are you going to be for the girls? Most certainly, if I can get a stream, most certainly. Most certainly. Most certainly. If I can get a stream for it, I will 100% give us a watch along. And also thank you to Mr. Beckford for calling in. I know he's under meds at the moment, but still great that he managed to find time for us. Might have to get JFF to put you in their books. You're gonna need another hustle. You're gonna need another stream of income if you want to survive. Good night, Mr. Garvey. How are you? How's you, Nanny Maroon, and the gang? How you all doing? Good to have you on the platform as always. Thank you. Thank you. That's a lovely comment. It's a real lovely comment. Mr. Galaxy, good night to yourself. I don't think I've told you good night yet. Wayne, I think I clicked on your comment. I'm not sure if I told you good night, so my apologies. Good night to yourself. If we want the best for our team, we need to approach the JFF about possible players that have been showing an interest to represent our team. Do you know what? I think the women's side of things they run things different to the men's side. So what I'm trying to say is whoever we have in mind, they probably already have that under control. Think about it. A few of the players that we've been asking for, in terms of the players sorting out their paperwork and thus becoming eligible to play competitively for Jamaica, they're here, or they're in the pipeline to be here. So how they do things with the women's football team is different to the men's football team. If it was the men's football team, we probably need to knock on JFF's door and say, look at this player, look at that player. But I'm fairly confident that with the women's team, you don't really need to do it. That's why I don't really press for it in the press conferences. The only time I asked the question was for Tasia, because he was asking about Siobhan, and I think that was when we had the previous gaffer, Mr. Vin Blaine. Other than that, I don't really ask about certain players because I'm just under the impression that they've got things covered. Coaches have things covered. Thank you for being a super commentator. Keep up the good work. Your voice. Oh, I've read that already, haven't I? Thank you. It was a lovely comment. So good I had to read it twice. Oh my God. Here's something that's going to shock you. I'm not a fan of crowds. I am not a fan of crowds at all. I was talking to someone about this the other day. I'm not a fan of crowds. Also, don't know what my schedule is like in terms of work, but I'm not a fan of crowds. Weird that, right? That I'll go to a football match, no doubt, and I'll be there singing at the top of my lungs with the rest of the fans. That's a different type of crowd, though. But I'm not really a fan of crowds. All right, guys, I'm telling you what, you guys have a talent, because I said I was only going to come here for 10 minutes max. I'm kidding myself. There's no way I was going to speak with you guys for only 10 minutes. I'm lying to myself. We've been talking for almost 2 hours and 30 minutes. The time has come for me to say my until next time. The coaching staff was in contact with both. We are just unlucky. Cough cough. Ellen White's early retirement. I don't really think it's about luck. Think about it. If your desire is to play for Jamaica, you will play for Jamaica. Nothing can change that. If you say you want to play for Jamaica, no amount of persuasion from whoever, be it England, Spain, France, can turn your head, because your heart belongs to Jamaica. Now, if your heart don't belongs to Jamaica, I can put anything in front of you and you will turn the other direction. I can whisper into your ear and you'll be pulling closer to me. You're willing to want to know more. So yeah, if your heart doesn't belong to Jamaica, then you're an easy catch for any country. So I don't lose sleep when we miss out on certain players, because I rather it that way. I don't really necessarily want you to come and play for Jamaica if your heart belongs to another country. I'm not really concerned about how good you are if your heart isn't where it needs to be. Why it sounds like you have a float? You have a float there, Mr. Irie Vibes? All right. That's your way of telling me I need to go. I'm going to go now. Guys, in the comment section, massive thank you to each and every one of you for sitting with me for the best part of almost 2 hours and 30 minutes. You guys are the ultimate 12th man. I don't know how you guys do it. You guys are always here. One man in particular, Mr. Scott, every time I load up my live stream, he's there. I don't know how he does it. Don't know how any of you do it in the comment section, but hats off to each and every one of you. I can feel the growth of the platform, and I know you guys can feel the growth of the platform as well. And that's thanks to both of us. I create the content, you guys engage with it, and you get the numbers up. So thank you each and every time. It's officially Thursday where I am at, so I am one step closer to the weekend. If I don't see you between now and the end of the week, I hope you have a fabulous week. If I don't see you over the weekend, I'm not sure why you would make such a horrendous call. But if I don't see you over the weekend, I hope that you have a fabulous weekend. Stay safe. Take care of your friends, your family, your loved ones. Wow, he's so right. Because I've done this many, many times. I'm gonna go now. I can't have you guys stand up on my own platform. I'm going now. Hot Chili has told me in his own way I need to go. Mr. Scott has told me I need to go. I'm going to be going now. Thank you. Thank you. If you guys are out and about, when you're out and about on your journey, I hope that you make it home safe and sound. To all the new people who have subscribed to the channel based off this live stream, thank you and welcome to the platform. I hope to see you guys in the comment section one day. You might need, I don't know what's making you feel ill. You might need some lemon and honey. Get yourself some lemon and honey. Get yourself some bush tea. If it's anything serious, get yourself down to A&E. Take care of yourself. Health is wealth. And that is about it, guys. If you're new to the channel and you haven't done so already, please do go ahead and hit that subscribe button and also the like button. It's been an absolute pleasure sitting here and speaking to you guys for the best part of 2 hours and 30 minutes. I'm starting to lose my voice. My eyes are becoming red as well. So it's telling me that I just need to come off. Oh, you see how comments can be misinterpreted. Even if it was the other way that I was thinking, I wasn't even going to be mad at you because you are absolutely right. I literally can. I'm going to let this one roll out to 2 hours and 30 minutes. It's on 2 hours and 28 minutes at the moment. I'm going to let it roll out to 2:30 because I'm a little bit weird like that. And then I'm going to have some oranges. But not before I get myself ready for bed. Need you guys to tell me who you want me to interview this football season. I already have some names in mind. I did say to you guys I'm going to be giving you guys better content, so trust and believe I will be doing exactly that. Definitely will be giving you guys better content going forward. All right, we've come to the end of the live stream. How many times have I said that? At least 4 or 5 times already, but this time I'm serious. I'm closing off until possibly over the weekend. Yeah, I might see something unless something important comes up and I need to keep you guys in the loop. Thank you so much for blessing me with a moment of your time. Thank you for your continuous support. Enjoy the rest of your week and have a wonderful weekend when it comes. Stay safe, and until next time, take care.
I'm John Barnes, and you're watching Talawa TV with Crystal Davis.